So today we will look at the front page of the Hindu, right? Okay. So yesterday we discussed that article regarding Supreme Court and Maharashtra speaker, right? So Supreme Court has given a deadline, right? See, you can think of this like a small incident of policy legislation, but this is not actually policy legislation. What is policy legislation? What do you understand by that term policy legislation? Sorry? Making of policy. Okay. By? If you think about it, normally policies are made by legislations, right? If legislation is making policy, then there is no debate. Here the legislation, if made by Supreme Court or somebody else, then that will become a debate. Okay. So here who is giving deadline? Supreme Court is giving a deadline to whom? Speaker. Is there any time limit in the legislation? No. In anti-defection law, there is no such thing called as timeline. But Supreme Court is saying, you have forced me. I have given whom the speaker ample amount of time. I have given him time to do the right thing. That is to take a decision. But because he is unable to take a decision, Supreme Court is forced to impose a time limit, artificial time limit on the speaker, so that it won't spill over into the next election cycle. See, you have to understand, one election cycle, next election cycle. Okay. Normally what happens is, justice delayed is justice denied. Okay. You are a MLA, you got elected on day 1. Okay. On day 2 you jump to a different party. You should be suspended within 2 or 3 months, so that for the rest of the 4 years you will again contest for elections or something. But you joined as an MLA on day 1, you jump to party 2 on day 2, but for next 5 years you are happily in power, then again you are going for new elections. Then what is the purpose of having anti-defection law? Yes or no? Anti-defection law should have a purpose. So because it doesn't have a purpose, Supreme Court is forced to give some instructions to the speaker. Okay, this will definitely be a landmark case that people will remember. So just keep an eye in your GS paper to notes if you are making any in future, or if you have to add value addition to your anti-defection law from polity perspective, this case will be a landmark case. Okay, just remember that much is enough. Okay, next. AP train crash, toll rises to 14, signal jump suspected cause. Okay, unfortunately there is a system called as Kavach system. It is not working, or it is not there. Technically speaking, it is not there. Okay. Sorry? It is not, see, that is a layman's excuse, right, for the government of India with such budget. Okay, again, I don't want to go into policy decisions, but you understand, right? Kavach is a very old technology. It's not even new technology. It is there in flights from 1980s, I guess, or 1990s. All aeroplanes have more or less same technique, proximity. Okay, or you can use GPS. iPhone 15 have satellite. iPhone 15 have satellite communication. That means without, if your car crashes or something, it will directly, without any telecommunication, inform the satellite based system, and it will inform anybody on the planet. And they have even introduced something called as crash detection road assistance. That means you are traveling in some Rajasthan desert, your car crashed or something. Okay, you can call for car help using satellite communication, and iPhone can do all these things. Okay. So again, let's not go into technical details, but you understand, right? Here, see, whenever you see a disaster, it is a man-made disaster. Definitely signal jumping is not something new. Okay, unfortunately it's not an Activa. If you jump a signal with the Activa, that is fine, but if you jump a signal with a train, that will definitely have some consequences. So sensitization of drivers training needs to be focused. Probably they are overworked. The humanitarian angle also has to be seen, right? Why does a experienced train driver jump the signal? He knows the consequences. Why is he doing it? Carelessness, lack of fear, or he is tired, fatigued, or is he overburdened? There must be so many other reasons that have to be observed. Okay, and serious warning has to be given to all the existing staff. Training has to be done. This is not first time. If you remember, in Kachiguda railway station few years ago, or some during COVID time, two trains collided. Same, the case was also signal jump. Okay, there is a system. That system has to be respected. Okay, why is it happening again and again is something that we have to observe, and definitely we have to improve technology so that technology will reduce the train accidents. Okay, these are the major takeaways from the train case. Okay, next, today articles are literally very dry, dull, boring, nothing new. This is also crowd management. All of you know, right? Patna to get drones eye view on Chat Puja. So usage of technology for mob control, law and order is not something new. Drones are the new friends of law and order department and governance, so that they can take help of the drones. Okay. Say, as a district collector, your job is to arrange melas also, because huge crowds will be gathered, no, Kumbh Mela, etc., etc. So usage of drones, etc., will help you for what? For crowd management, helping, and so on and so forth. You can also use such lines in ethics case studies also. How will you control the crowd? Drones. Right. There are two lead articles, one in Hindu, the other one is in Indian Express. One is by Pratap Banu Mehta, the other one is by Mr. Tirumurti, right? So both of them are very seasoned players. They know what they are definitely talking about. Okay, and this article is written with very good amount of passion. You can clearly see that he is talking truly in the sense of the problem, not from anyone's perspective. Okay, so he's a bureaucrat, right? His language is very nice, his expression is wonderful. So he starts the essay with a human element. Few years ago or long ago, he was in Gaza, right? So he starts that essay by saying, now that building no longer exists, the problem is not about the building, the problem is about the family that used to accommodate him. Okay, so Mr. Tirumurti had a friend in Gaza. Now he doesn't even know what happened to his friend. That means he's emotionally appealing to all of us in the very beginning of the essay, like what happened to my friend and his family, who are not Hamas people, they are Palestinians. Okay, so that is an emotive start to an essay. Okay, then he goes on to discuss like what Hamas have done is, like, there is no justice for that. There is no, like, there is no two ways about it. It's outright a barbaric act and it has to be condemned. Killing innocents or terrorist act by Hamas is a wrong thing. Okay, but at the same time he then slowly starts talking about the everybody else. Okay, like for example, whatever Israel is doing is not proportional in comparison to what what Hamas have done. And he then, typical argument, right? All of us know this is not the first time we are discussing same points, umpteenth time, like for the nth time. Now what is new from Mr. Tirumurti's article? Okay, he is saying, okay, it is a PR, right? It is how the other countries, for example, in this case, how the other countries like USA, European countries, everybody is using the terms. Say in Hindu we have numbers. If you can scroll this today's Hindu paper, okay, this is a number. Palestinians killed in Hamas controlled Gaza Strip, 8,306. What is 8,306? It's not a number, right? It's the number of lives lost. We cannot say all those lives are innocent. Some of them can be Hamas, but definitely good number of innocents are also there. So no, that is what Mr. Tirumurti is arguing, right? You have to take that thought process into consideration. He nicely brings in that argument. Say, does the justification of killing 8,000 Palestinians in mere 2022, sorry, in mere 22 days, which consists around 40% of children, is it justiciable? Like, is it even proportional? right? More than 1.5 year have passed, 1.8 months technically, right? Russia-Ukraine war in 1.8 months, that is like good number of days, 9,600 people were killed, okay? Whereas in 22 days, 8,000 people were killed. Just imagine the amount of wrath that was shown on Palestinians. And who is justifying that? The West and the media are justifying that by saying they are equating all Palestinians to Hamas. And when you tell the story in such a way that Hamas are Palestinians are Hamas, so as a reader you won't feel any emotion, right? Okay, the terrorists are being killed, why are you crying about it? Yes or no? It's like punishing the entire Jammu and Kashmir for the crimes of the few. Why? Jammu and Kashmir supports terrorism. That is the story I told you. You happily believed it. Okay, you didn't find any problem by punishing Jammu and Kashmir. Oh, it's okay, we can punish them. Why? They support terrorists. Jammu and Kashmir is a state, not a town, not a family. Yes or no? Few terrorists cannot be reason for punishing an entire state. It's the narratives you tell. It's the stories we tell. I hope you understand. Okay, this is not new. See, from time immemorial, let's go to Dantewada, Chhattisgarh area, Naxal affected area. Their villages and villages were wiped out, killed, women were raped, people were encountered left, right and center. Why? All tribals are supporters of Naxals, Naxal sympathizer. Okay, the stories we tell, okay, it changes the narrative. Who tells the story? State. Yes or no? State have powerful media machinery, states can tell stories. Who controls media? State can control media. If state can control media, state can control the narration. The real power, as George Orwell says, you know who is George Orwell? George Orwell. What? George Orwell is a writer. He wrote two famous books. One is 1984, the other one is Animal Farm. Okay. His actual name is Eric Arthur Blair. He wrote, his pen name is George Orwell. He wrote wonderful books. Animal Farm 1984. 1984 is a dystopian novel. It's a wonderful book. Must read in your lifetime. So he quotes, he says, real power is what? Real power is taking your mind, taking your ideas, reshaping as I want to shape it and putting it back. Yes or no? What is power? You have a story, I will take your story, I will twist it, turn it according to my own fancies, then I will put it back in your brain. Now you will also start believing my story. That is power. That is what George Orwell says. So right now what is happening in Israel-Palestine war is, everybody is more or less taking the side of Israel and everybody is happily ignoring the side of Palestinians. And he nicely blames the Arab countries. See, we know USA loyalty lies with Israel. Okay, we know Egypt and all those countries are not doing anything. We know India is neutral, right? India is supporting two-state theory. We want peace to be established. China doesn't care. Who should care? Fellow Arab countries should care. Yes or no? He simply blames which Arab country is actually talking for on behalf of Palestine. Who is taking that stand? Saudi Arabia said, okay, Israel, I am not going to make deal with you. Why did Saudi Arabia say that? Is it love for Palestine? No. It is fear that if I start talking to Israel, okay, people in Saudi Arabia might revolt against Saudi Arabia. That is why Saudi Arabia is not interested to talk to Israel rather than not for the love of Palestine. Okay, more or less everybody forgot Palestinian cause. Nobody is actually bothered about it. Neither USA, nor Saudi Arabia, nor Israel. Nobody actually cares. Because nobody cares, that has become a humanitarian crisis. And he even blames the term humanitarian crisis. Okay, and he simply says it is all hypocrisy. Whenever there is violence, people will talk about Israel-Palestine war. If there is no violence, nobody talks about Israel-Palestine war. This has become a vicious cycle. That is what he uses the term called as Kal Chakra. the time of the cycle, right? The wheel of the cycle. Israel, Palestine are peaceful. Nobody bothers about it. Israel will slowly start occupying Palestine, West Bank, etc. People will be killed. Nobody talks about it. Even in January 22-23, Israel has killed good number of Palestinians. Went to that, mosque of Aqsa, Al-Aqsa, and all these things. Nobody cared. West didn't talk about it. There was no communication. Only when Hamas have done the extreme violence, now everybody is talking about Israel, Palestine. Once Israel stops the attack, what will happen? What do you think will happen? Slowly Israel will withdraw. Palestine will start rebuilding. Lot of funding will go to both Israel and Palestine. For 2 years or 3 years, all the people who were hurt, homeless, etc., will start coming back to normal life. After 3 or 4 years, things will return normal to Gaza. But did it solve any problem? Did Israel-Palestine problem go away? No. For the next 4 years, do you think Joe Biden or others will start talking about peace? They might make a statement here or there. Again, after 5 years, probably new Hamas group will start attacking Israel. 5 years later, again we will discuss Israel-Palestine war. For 5 years, what we do? We forgot about Israel and Palestine. Do world really needs to go through the same cycle again and again and again? People who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Aren't we say smartest generation, civilization? But are we solving any problem? No. See, that is why people have called this as Intifada, right? Intifada 1, 2 and 3. 1 happened in 1980s, 2 happened in 2000, 2005. Again, now probably people will call this as Intifada 3. Intifada means revolution. We discussed this, right? There are 3 revolutions by the Palestinian side. 1, 2 and 3. Should we wait for 4? The last one happened in 2005. So 15 years break. So this one happened in 2023. So probably in 2020, 35, 2040, again we will have Intifada 4. Then we will again discuss about Israel, Palestine. Right. So while we do not have direct role yet, USA, Gulf and Arab world leaders should start coming together and stop the solution. No matter who tells, whether it's Sonia Gandhi, Mr. Tirumurti, Pratap Banu Mehta, you, me, some other fellow, the ultimate solution is what? Live one, let live. There should be a Israel, there should be a Palestine, there should be 2 states. There should be a global consensus on this. That means at least USA, India and other Western countries should decide the power should be distributed between both these countries. Will it happen? Do you have hope? Sorry? If every country comes together. The COVID-19 death toll in India, getting it right. Okay. So this article is not too important for UPSC, but it has some important points. We will not go into the technical registrations. We will simply understand it. Okay. See, COVID is something that where we were not prepared for. We can clearly say that we cannot blame anyone. India was not ready for COVID. Not only India, world was not ready for COVID. Okay. If you go to a government morgue or a hospital today, okay, they have a basic requirement. If you have to burn a body or something or bury someone, you need to have death certificate. Okay, death certificate can be given by any medical practitioner. Even Ayush medical practitioners can give death certificate. Okay, RMPs, etc. So in India, we actually don't have a clinical precision to identify the cause of death. Normal times also. That means somebody died of heart attack, or did somebody die of some other cause? Nobody knows. Okay, he died of natural reasons. Khatam ho gaya. Okay. In COVID time, when every 3rd bed or 4th bed, when somebody is dying, okay, you cannot actually diagnose whether this person have died because of COVID or COVID aggravated other diseases. See, COVID did not kill people, most of the cases, COVID did not kill people, healthy people. You already have existing diseases, like you already have a heart disease, lung disease, or renal, that is kidney and all these things. Okay, those symptoms aggravated. Okay, so when a old person, for example, when somebody with 70 years old was affected by COVID, his heart attack, heart BP, etc. increased, and his heart stroke came and he died. People called his death as heart attack. Like he died because of heart stroke. He did not die because of COVID. You understand the difference? When the doctor writes the report, he says this old person died because of heart stroke, not because of COVID. But what caused the heart stroke? COVID and its symptoms. Okay, you already have a kidney issue. COVID affected you. Kidney issue aggravated, or you did not get some treatment or something. You died because of kidney disease or kidney failure, not because of COVID. But technically, what caused all these things? See, 20,000 people on one day didn't decide all of us will die today only. I hope you remember, right? During COVID time, it was very, very bad. Thousands of people were dying every single day. What was the reason? COVID, the virus, the problem, the aggravated complications because of that and all those things. So, system was not ready. There were no beds. Nobody knew who died because of what reason. And if you remember the burial grounds and all these things, even people didn't have money to burn so many bodies. So 2, 3, 4 bodies were burnt in one level. And I clearly remember Mumbai or some other place where there was this electric furnace. The furnace melted because so many bodies were burnt in one day. The furnace got so heat, like it broke down. Okay, so when so many people are dying, you cannot actually have a actual accurate mechanism. Okay, this is one reason. The other reason was governments were not happy to tell the actual numbers. Yes or no? No state will say hundreds of people are dying in my state. Everybody try to fudge the numbers. Why? Maharashtra 45, Telangana 35, Punjab 3000. Everybody will think Punjab administration is worst. So what will Punjab do next day? Maharashtra 35, 45, they will also look at 55, okay. Everybody is fudging the numbers to look good. And there was one more excuse, public morale or panic mode. People will get even more afraid, or thousands are dying, I will also fear. So tell less numbers. Or at least in media tell wrong numbers, but in books you can maintain genuine numbers, no? So you get the complications, right? What they are trying to tell in simple terms is we need to have a proper mechanism, that is civil registration system. Okay, and we need to accurately have that right data. For example, you are in a hospital bed. Let's say a 75-year-old person is in hospital bed. His Aadhaar number should be registered digitally if possible. Okay, and when he dies because of COVID, kidney, heart or something, that exact detail should be entered in that data, so that even after 6 months, when all this mess goes away, we will know who died because of what. So we need to have some such healthy mechanisms. But unfortunately, we have seen during COVID pandemic, not a single hospital bed was vacant. Even on the hospital floor, people were sleeping. So there were no records, there were no maintenance, overburdened bureaucracy, overburdened staff, etc., lot of problems. Clear? Okay. Why you should have accurate numbers? Accurate numbers will tell you who died, why, so that you can do proper justice to them. You can take care of them. Okay. Next, this article is about that Kerala bomb blast case, Jehovah Witness. Okay. The person who have done the crime himself has surrendered. He put it on social media. So according to this editorial, it's an open and shut case. There is no surprises there. He did it out of his own frustration. So far so good. But the problem is some political parties and some people have taken this opportunity to convert it into a communal issue. Okay, they try to convert it into a communal issue. So when a bomb blast happens in Kerala, and there are good number of Muslims or Christians or other religions, so a good number of other communities will start saying, see, if you allow too many Muslims and too many Christians, every state will become like Kerala. Bomb blast will increase, or Kerala has become a jihad state. Like this, you can destroy the image of a state, you can make it a communal thing, you can communally charge the entire atmosphere. Okay, All these are bad things. Okay, so people in power, especially MPs, etc., or people who are in power, they should not misuse social media and create fears. They should not increase communal fears. Actually, they are supposed to reduce communal fears, not increase them. Okay, and once the social trust is eroded, no amount of medicine will heal the society. Yes or no? Why? 9 out of 10 human beings don't have any work. As you all know, Harari calls as useless class. Good number of people don't have any work. They are called as useless class. Because you don't have any work, you will start only tweeting about this, thinking about this, promoting all these things. What will happen? Hate will only increase in the society. Hmm. Right. So this article is about US China ties. What are US China ties? Any idea? See, if you go back to the general discussion, America is a superpower, China is the next alternative superpower, right? China is number 2, USA is number 1. When two superpowers or so-called superpowers fight with each other, it will have ramifications on the planet. It will have ramifications for all of us. Point number 1. He says, if you look at the last article, US-China relations are crucial in dealing with global issues such as climate change or crises, one such as in West Asia. Let's imagine if US and China are working together, can't they pressurize Israel or Palestine to go for peace? They can even fund, support, etc., and so on and so forth. So right now there is a dialogue between USA and China. They are about to talk to each other, and the dialogue has so many complications. One is there was a national security document in 2020. In 2020, America has released a national security document, and the document says if there is any one country which is actually a threat to America's superpower, that country is China. Okay, America clearly, explicitly said this in its statements. Okay, and when Joe Biden withdrew from Afghanistan, he also made a statement. He made that statement saying, our focus is no longer on Russia or Afghanistan or other areas. Our focus will be only on China. So if you go back to COVID era or pre-COVID era, every country or at least China, USA had one thing. That one thing was China's rise. Okay, Americans clearly, or at least American establishment, that is military, technological companies, etc., realized that if there is one threat to America, that one threat is China. So China should be contained. This is the oral statement. But actually, what did they do? They have done exactly the opposite. They went and got stuck in the Russia-Ukraine war. Who is supporting Ukraine? USA. Who is supporting Israel now? USA. That means instead of focusing on China, America is happily focusing on every other problem apart from China. That is rule number 1. Second thing, during the same time, America also have made sure that China doesn't get access to semiconductors or such technologies. These are called critically emerging technologies, right? Critically emerging technologies. That means, let's imagine all of you know semiconductors, right? Semiconductors are very powerful thing. There is one popular TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. It is the most powerful, richest company in the world in technical terms. If you think about it, TSMC in Taiwan, which is very closer to China, is the only semiconductor manufacturing company. Okay, the alternative is in USA. So if access to semiconductors is blocked to China, China's growth will be slowed down. Whatever you want to construct, whatever you want to develop, artificial intelligence based neural learning, machine learning tools, etc., who has to stop them? USA is stopping them to China. USA is stopping them to China. So all the hurdles, that is trade barriers, are created by USA to China, so that China don't rise or China won't grow. Okay, so that is why USA also supports Taiwan's freedom. You understand the context, right? Only two things. One is technologies like semiconductors should not go to China. Taiwan is very important for TSMC, that is semiconductors. So USA is willing to support Taiwan. Okay, these are all small nuts and bolts. Okay, apart from this, China and USA also don't meet eye to eye. For example, Belt and Road Initiative. If China is launching Belt and Road Initiative, America is launching something called as PGII, that is Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment. Okay, if China is happily doing something BRICS expansion, USA will do G20 expansion. You got my point? So there is always a tussle between China and USA. Sorry, China and USA. Ante kada. So what is the major takeaway? You get my point, right? The problem is China and USA are both very good actors. Both of them hate each other, but on book level, at least on face level, they want to talk to each other so that they will appear like they are very good friends. But China has its own plans to replace USA as a superpower. USA also has its own plans to stop the growth of China. Okay, so whatever will happen from here onwards, we have to see how it will go. What is India's stand? India is immediate neighbor of China, so we have to make sure that we are not too much enemies with China. At the same time, we have to get maximum benefit from USA. So that is our strategic autonomy. As simple as that. Putting the 70-hour work week idea into perspective. Okay, recently the Infosys founder Mr. Narayan Murthy had made a statement, that is, Indians are lazy. Youth, you people, yes or no? Youth are lazy in India. Youth should work for more hours so that you can contribute for the country. So this is what Mr. Narayan Murthy has said. So Hindu has written a wonderful article on this. So these are the kind of questions or topics which are very interesting for UPSC. So if you see map number 1, Uttarakhand youth are most active. They are working for, where is Uttarakhand? South or north? Where is Uttarakhand? Uttarakhand is a town or a state or a village? State, Shura. Where is it? Uttar. Uttar means south. No? Uttar is in Uttar. Do you know where is Uttar Pradesh? Above Uttar Pradesh there is Uttarakhand. So it's 9.6 hours. Right? Telangana is also having 9.2 hours. Okay. These are what? Employment and related activities per day. Okay. Now, if you look at the other table, that is country and category, how much time Indians spend on watching TV per day? Germany people watch good amount of 2 hours or something. Indians watch around 1.2 hours. Okay. Sports also Indians don't watch much. Indians sleep a lot. Okay. See, these are all average survey report. Don't take it literally. Indians sleep for 8.8 hours. Good thing. Housework 2.5 hours. We don't do voluntary activities. We don't have leisure activities. Yes or no? Watching Jabardast in the lunchtime during office itself is a leisure activity. Hmm. Right. Our average hours have increased from 2077 to 2122 hours. Okay, that is what the chart shows, annual working hours per worker. Okay, but is our productivity high? We are getting $9 per hour. What is $9? $1 is 80 rupees roughly. So 9 8 is 722 rupees. 720 rupees. What is the productivity of Germany? $70 per hour. What is $70 per hour? Yes or no? I hope you understand. So it's not the number of hours you put in, it's the quality, it's the productivity in the hours also actually matters. If you are a very high skilled labor, all these things are possible. Probably Mr. Narayan Murthy mentioned it in the context of what? ఏమైంది ట్యాంక్ నిండిందా? So Mr. Narayan Murthy has mentioned that we have to work, but all these things are very nicely applicable in probably IT sector. But again, if you look at it, the quality or the productivity within those hours is totally different from number of hours you put. Just like UPSC aspirants who sit in front of the book for 8 hours of day. Okay, what is the actual takeaway? You are sitting in front of the books for 8 hours. How many hours are you actually reading for? Yes or no? So you are reading for how many days? 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 60 hours a week are hard working students. Okay, what is your actual productivity? Anti-defection law, which schedule? Which schedule? Huh? 10th schedule, which amendment? What are the famous cases associated with anti-defection law? At least one case. Keshwananda Bharati, IR Koelho, NAS Foundation, Navtesh Johar, anti-defection law. నేను anti-defection law అడుగుతున్నా. Navtesh Johar is LGBT, NAS? Something. You get the point? There is a difference between hours and productivity. So do read this article, definitely useful for your mains, Indian society, Indian economy, right? See, his intention is good that we have to work hard, but again you have to think from societal perspective. We have become a materialistic world. People are chasing behind work-life balance. In 2023, there is an ethics case study. Ruchika, A joint secretary is working as an employee, she is working for night 9 p.m. Then she gets a call. The next day she has to take care of the office. She have 2 kids. The question is purely but nothing but work-life balance. So as a bureaucrat or as a software engineer, if you are working for 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, let's imagine you are in the office for 12 hours. You sleep for 7 hours. How many hours are gone in your life? 19 hours. How many hours are left? What will you do in 5 hours? Lunch, breakfast, dinner, bathing, and all these things. Hardly you get 1 hour or 2 hours to spend with your family. Even then, probably you are busy scrolling Twitter, Facebook, messages, WhatsApp, etc. Then are you actually giving a quality time to your family? You are making 2 lakh rupees per month. For whom? For family. But are you spending time with family? No. In the process, young Indians are developing stress, anxiety, BP, sugar, etc. other diseases, lifestyle diseases. People are dying at the age of 45 due to heart stroke. Whom did you serve? While you are alive, you are not talking to your family. When you are dead and gone, there is no purpose. Okay, there should be a productivity, yes. There should be a work-life balance, yes. How do you achieve productivity and work-life balance? That is a $1 million question. I hope you understand. So don't look at newspaper articles only from one perspective. Think from society perspective. Think from work culture perspective. Yes or no? There should be a culture of work. Yes or no? And at the same time, it should be productive in nature. Clear? And there was also a bill by Kanimoli, the DMK member, MP. She introduced a bill that once you are out of the office, there should not be any calls from the office. Normally speaking, your father or brother or somebody working in a job, okay, even after office hours, they will get call, and for hours together, they will be supporting. Alright, that file will be here, you should do this, etc. etc. Technically, office is over by 5 p.m. But still, you are working for the office. You are working in home. Then are you actually free from the office? Then what is the point? Clear? So now we have to identify what is actually productivity, how can you improve productivity, how do you attain work-life balance, and second thing, if you are productive, are you productive for the overall nation? If youth are working hard, are they adding value to the country? Great. Next, now last question on this topic is the country and the market creating quality of work for the youth also? Are you creating enough good jobs? Who should create good jobs? The state and the market. Okay, these are the questions you have to think from this particular topic. So there are these are the important articles from Hindu. Just keep an eye on this particular topic. Maratha quota, right? Maratha quota. Okay, they are demanding reservations. Okay, India is probably one of those few places where people are happy to be coming back to reservations. Everybody wants to move out of reservation, but here we are fighting for reservations. So here the main question is, why do people want more reservation? See, what is quota? Quota means reservation. So if Marathas are getting quota, that means they will get more representation in government jobs, education, etc. So why people are fighting for reservation? Sorry? To get more benefits from the government. But what is the percentage of government jobs in overall Indian labor force? If 100 people are working in India, how many people are actually provided employment by the government? Roughly 5 people. Okay, because 90% is informal labor, 5% is more or less private sector. That means, example wise, I am giving you an idea. Only government is providing 5 jobs. So for these 5 jobs, everybody is fighting. Second thing, Marathas, Jats, Kapus, other communities in India were earlier dependent on agricultural sources. Good amount of money used to be generated from agriculture and other allied activities. Because money coming from agriculture is shrinking, now these communities are feeling the heat. So India technically failed to create good alternative jobs in industry sector or service sector jobs. So that is why everybody is demanding reservations. Okay. Unfortunately, the intention can be good. I mean, your desire for your community can be good, but it can also take political colors. It can be converted into a political issue very easily. And it before election season, all of you know, every small issue will become very, very sensitive. Because see, not only Marathas, in Andhra Pradesh we have this Kapus, I think Kapu, a train burning incident has happened. In Gujarat Patels, or in Haryana area Jats. There are so many communities which are now demanding what? Quotas, reservations. Where will we get jobs? We have to create high productive jobs from private sector, but that is not happening in the country. Okay, clear? Yes. Any questions? There is one editorial in Indian Express, it talks about finfluencers, that is financial influencers. All of you understand influencer? Influencer is someone who is in social media influencing people to buy some products, etc. So if you are a financial influencer, that means you give advice about finances, stock market, insurance, etc. You are called as a finfluencer, that is finance plus influencer. Recently, because of these people, some people lost money. So SEBI, the regulatory body in India, related to security exchanges, right, stock markets, etc., has imposed fine on such person, and it has also banned few people from participating in trade. They cannot trade and they cannot give advice. Not only that, recently a judgment came where SEBI said, because of you, people have lost some money, so you have to give back 17.2 crore rupees back to the people who lost their money because of your bad advice. So now SEBI is trying to bring financial influencers under some regulatory condition. See, not all financial influencers are bad. India is a country where, because of Harshad Mehta scam, people has lost trust in stock markets and other saving instruments. So financial influencers can promote what? Financial literacy. Nowadays, SIP, that is systemic investment plan, has increased in the country. More people are investing money in stock markets, mutual funds, etc., thanks to financial influencers. That means awareness is increasing because of financial influencers. At the same time, using the same tool, some people are making money. So there should be a healthy balance of financial influencers who are using their knowledge for welfare of the society rather than for robbing the people. Okay, so that is definitely a point you have to remember. Financial influencers, SEBI. You can use in a questions like, what did regulatory bodies do in the recent times? SEBI is a regulatory body. Got my point? Yeah. That's it. We have already discussed this. Just keep an eye on this particular topic. Biden, the president of USA, signs order to regulate artificial intelligence in USA. So artificial intelligence is a hydra-headed monster. It cannot be controlled, but still governments are at least trying to bring some regulations. I told you, AI will always be leaps and bounds ahead of the regulation. You cannot control technology, but still they are trying. Okay, right. Any questions from whatever we have discussed today? అదే బాధ. See, the thing is, you have to provide quality education, you have to provide quality skilling, training, upgrading. You have to create ecosystem where MSMEs, startups will be created. It's an entire process. On the right hand side, you have to create demand. On the left hand side, you have to create people. Both of them has to come together and it has to boom. But unfortunately, we are not skilling enough people. We are not creating enough jobs outside. See, service industry cannot hire thousands and thousands of people, right? If you are a startup company, how many people do you need? 10 or 20 people. But there are 1,000 software engineers. What will I do? And most of them don't even know proper coding. Among them, who is very skilled, who is doing certification, training, etc., is growing. The rest all are just surviving. That is also a problem. Yes. You have class now? Yeah. Right. See you all tomorrow then.